Hi everyone, quick video here to introduce our next van build and video series. The van is a 2021 Mercedes Sprinter 3500 high roof 170 extended wheelbase. It's for a client who already owned the van and needed someone to build it out. And the van is pretty cool. It's pretty large actually. Being a 170 extended, it has almost 16 feet of cargo area to build in. I'll give a quick highlight of the prep we did, the steps we took to get to a point where we could actually start building the van. The first thing, as you can imagine, is getting a clear understanding of what the owner wants, his vision, his requirements, what he wants to do in the van. As we had those discussions, a few things rose to the surface as being most important to him. First, he wanted lots of seats for kids, for coworkers, for teammates, you name it. So the first priority was ensuring there was room for that extra seating. Second, he wanted to be able to transport multiple bikes inside the van and have the process of pulling those bikes in and out of the van be quick and easy, meaning no tire removal or assembly as the bikes come in and out of the van. He wants to be able to grab them quickly and go. And this is a significant consideration as a fully assembled bike is tall, so that impacts the height of the bed, the length of the garage area, and a few other things. So we basically used the need for seats, the bike space as anchors and designed everything else around that. Second item was to start putting details to paper based on that design and those requirements. Specifically, we created a materials list with cost, a potential build timeline, and equally as important, the weight of all the materials. With this being a 170 extended and having 4 additional seats, 6 in total, weight has been a big factor in the planning and the build. This has impacted material selection as well as limited to some extent the extra components that could be added to the van. We also wanted to get the actual weight of the van prior to the build, so we demoed the factory installed items that needed to be removed, the factory wall panels, the flooring, the bulkhead. We then filled it up with gas and took it to a local scale to establish an accurate pre-build or curb weight. And just a note here, I have a link in the description to a diagram that shows what the different weights are, like curb weight, gross vehicle weight, things like that, and how the different elements of a van build and van usage play into that. It's important from a safety perspective and legal and insurance as well to be within those limits, right? So check out that link if you'd like to know more. Once we have the layout design and the materials list detailed, we're ready to move on to step 3, which is to do a physical mock-up. We want to walk through and understand the physical space in the van as close to reality as we can to make sure that it works. For this van, that meant setting the seats in place since we already had those, and building some of the other structures out of cardboard, like the cabinets, the bed. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it certainly wasn't pretty, but it does give you an idea of how the space is going to feel when built out. So those are the pre-build steps. Once the walkthrough is done and the owner gives the thumbs up, we start the build. This van will have, as mentioned, seating for 6, which means 6 seat belts, the ability to store 4 bikes in the trunk area. It'll have a bed, a toilet, a microwave, heat, air conditioner, an outdoor shower, Starlink satellite, internet, and a few others. And we have started the build and are about a third of the way done. So we'll be releasing those build videos coming up in the next few weeks as we go. So that's it for this video. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications if you enjoyed this and want to be notified as those next videos are released. So thanks for watching. Yay, Vans!